Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Sam's Whiskey Bar. I am Mr. Sam. And I got my first Booker's, y'all. I've had Booker's before. I have never owned Booker's before. It's a great pick. And Mr. Rod and I found this sucker in Kansas City. Well, the Lenexa area of Kansas City. So I'm going to pop this and try this and talk a little bit about this new batch here. And man, based on what they named it, I'm hoping this sucker's good. They better not have screwed this one up. But first, I better have a little of my single barrel. That's not a single barrel from Ben Holiday. They call it a one barrel. You know, just a little bit different marketing, I guess. The one barrel. When you hear one barrel, it's a one barrel Ben Holiday, and this comes in a little over 120. This is the weeded version. He told me not to spin my glass like this, just like Ellen likes to tell me, quit being an aggressive swirler. It puts out too much ethanol. And do what works for y'all. Y'all do what works for y'all. If you want ice on it, put ice on it. You want water in it? Put water in it. You want to shake this sucker up? You want to do what works for you. Do what works for you. But stick around, and we're going to talk about this Booker's just a little bit. Haven't done any research. I'm just going to read the card that comes in the box. All right, welcome back, y'all. Pardon me while I try to read. I am from Kansas, so it might be slow and I might mess up. Anyways, this is the Mighty Fine Batch in quotations. And when you find out why it's in quotations, you're going to understand why I think this better be freaking good. And this is the 2023-03. The third release of Booker's Bourbon 2023 collection is a Booker's Batch 2023-03 Mighty Fine Batch. This batch is named in honor of the signature phrase my dad used to use. He used compliment anything he approved of, from his namesake bourbon to his country ham. So apparently, Mighty Fine Batch was something Booker No used to say when something was extraordinary or really good. I imagine he was a hard man to please. So if you know Booker, then you know Mighty Fine was his go-to phrase. He would often get together with other folks in the bourbon industry to taste samples of Booker's bourbon, and everyone knew he was happy with his selection when he sipped it and said it was mighty fine, followed by, "That's a damn good batch. Man, I can't wait till they come out with a damn good batch. Ooh, watch out, Stag." Okay, shortly before Dad passed away in 2004, I selected the barrels for a Booker's Bourbon batch for the very first time. I was a little nervous at first. I had big shoes to fill. After tasting the samples I shared with him, he looked at me and said, "Oh, this is good as a son. Man, mighty fine job, son." I think he's got a little bit of emotion tied into this. He might even be choking me up a little bit. Love you, Dad. Mighty fine job, son. What great words to hear from your dad. Man. Okay, compose myself. Whew. A lot of people thought it was one of the best batches, but receiving Dad's vote of confidence made it that much more special for me. 100%. Y'all fathers, be good to your sons. Give them praise and give them correction and give them love. All right, don't get me off on a tangent. Dang, Booker. A lot of people thought it was one of the best batches, but receiving Dad's vote of confidence made it that much more special for me. Yes, absolutely. I'll never forget that moment. He ain't lying. He will never forget that. Booker was not one to embellish his compliments with many descriptive words, but I have a feeling he would say this batch is mighty fine. I hope you think so too. Boy, you're building this sucker up, Fred, 7th generation master distiller. Woo, boy, oh boy. Oh, it gives a Kentucky hug. We'll see about that. All right, I'm not going to read this part because I want to drink this damn whiskey. They built it up and I'm going to pop my first fresh top on a Booker's. You know, kind of a nice little packaging there, a little plexiglass branded front, nice box that it snaps into, burnt Booker's. All right, the same thing in here. 126.6 proof, 7 years, 1 month, 10 days. It's got Booker Nose signature on it. Okay, well, only one more thing to do, y'all. Let's see what we got in the bottle. What I do when I buy a new bottle, no matter what it is, I open it. I got a rule, I open it within 24 hours. If it's a gun, I shoot it within 24 hours. If y'all get tired of me saying that, say something. I'll remind everybody a little less often. I think I might see a synthetic cork in there. That is a synthetic cork. Okay. Maybe that's why it was $105 only. Those got tops on. Let me grab a fresh Glen from down here. A mighty fine batch. Let's see if I think it's mighty fine. Do a little aggressive swirl job here. It's been a while since I've had a Booker's. And the last one was the Apprentice batch. It was okay. Quintessential bourbon notes. A little spice on there. Being high proof, I'm going to give it a little less of a swirl. Clean out some of that ethanol. See if I can pick out anything else at my first time ever sniffing this bad Mamma Jamma. I can tell it's good already off the nose. Gosh dang it, Brown. I'm so just used to swirling a cup that I can't help myself, man. I think when I grab a pop and soda, whatever you want to call it, I probably swirl that and don't even realize it. Sometimes going to the palate will open up your smelling senses a little bit. I've had a lot of whiskey over the last couple of days and very little sleep, so give me a break, y'all. Whoa, that's sweet. That's some sweet heat. Oh, I love that proof spice on there, that oak spice. Oh, get a little tea. It's very beamy. Booker's is a James Beam or Jim Beam product, I believe. Yep. Distilled and bottled by James Beam Distilling Company, Clearmont, Kentucky. Little touch of cinnamon there. Mm. Honestly, not pulling a whole lot off the nose. Nothing unique, anyways. Just your normal good bourbon notes that you get your sweetness, your caramel, maple, vanillas. But I get that baking spice, maybe a little cinnamon. You get the oak on the nose. Wow, that got sweeter the higher I went up on the glass, and it usually gets more ethanol or cinnamon to me. Oh, yeah, there's that maple brown sugar coming through right now. Hey, what did he say? That's a mighty fine batch. Yeah, this one kicks the apprentice's ass. I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of this because I'm just enjoying this. I'm just enjoying it, not thinking much about the video. I get into it and I'm like, oh yeah, and it smells like this. I would say this is a vanilla maple oaky vanilla maple oak. If I was gonna put the three top that I'm getting off here is vanilla maple and oak. Oh, there's tobacco. Ah, there's tobacco. I love that tobacco smell. When I get that on a bourbon, it's usually when the glass is completely empty and I'm smelling it, and that's what I'm getting on this right here. And that's usually after I've had a really, really good pour. Little dusty on that sniff, little dusty. All right, baby, keep on getting complex, Booker. Let's go. Hell of a job, Fred. Hell of a job, Fred. Mighty fine pour. I'm not getting a Kentucky hug on it though. Maybe it, probably just me. Heartburn usually comes after a Kentucky hug for me. Anybody else get that when you get that Kentucky hug? Or are you like, oh, where's a Tums? I better take a Tums before shit goes sideways. Man, I mean the maples and the vanillas and the baking spice off the oak. Not only do they come through on the nose, but they come through on the palate too. It is a sweet, mapley, oaky booger. What was this? 120 what? 126.6, 126.6, and that's my stamp of approval on this bottle. I'm gonna have to blind it against some my favorite stuff in here and see where it ranks because it might be a top dog here real shortly. It's getting better on the nose, y'all. It's getting better every time I go back to it on the nose. Wow, sweet and spice, everything nice. Anyways, y'all, I want to open some more bottles because I got that rule I talked about earlier. So, y'all catch me next time.